Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari. Yasoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yasoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari. Yasoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yasoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivakatiyara Sarasi Shimad. Hey Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timaranda Shakanandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Didati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Advadutam Brijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Vadang Bhagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavanishwari Prishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Padidanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada, 11:12, correct? 12, okay. Please repeat. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapad Utita Yadi Ba Sadrishi Sasyat Bashas Tasya Mahatmana Divi Surya Saharasya Bhaved Yugapad Udita Yadi Bhasyadrisi Sasyat Bhashyatasya Mahatmanaha Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapad Udita Yadi Bhasadrisi Sasyat Bhashastasya Mahatmanaha Divi Surya Sahasrasya Sasyat Pasastasya Mahatmanaha
Devi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yoga Padutthita Yadi Vasadrishi Sasyat Vasastasya Mahatmana
Divi Surya Sahasrasya Yadi Bhashastri Ba Tasya Bhasha Mahatmana Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapad Udita Yadi Bhasadrisi Sasyad Vashitasya Mahatmana Divi Surya Sahasrasya Dubhavisya Yadi Bhasadrisi Sasyad Vashitasya Mahatmana. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Divi, in the sky. Surya, of suns. Sahasrasya, of many thousands. Bhavet, there were. Yugapad, simultaneously. Utita, present. Yadi, if. Baha, light. Sadrishi, like that. Sa, that. Shat, might be. Bhashya, effulgence. Tasya, of him. Mahatmana, the great Lord. So, translation, Srila Prabhupada. If hundreds and thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Please repeat. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Purport Srila Prabhupada. What Arjuna saw was indescribable, yet Sanjay is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Sanjay, he's talking to Dhritarashtra, recording the conversation. Neither Sanjay nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjay, by the grace of Vyas, could see whatever happened. Thus he now compares the situation, as far as it can be understood, to an unimaginable phenomenon, i.e. thousands of suns. So, short purport. Mukam karoshya bhachalam bhangam laidegrim yadkri patamam bande Sri Gurundinatarinam Dibya Surya Sahasrasya Bhavad Yuga Parutita Yabha Sadisi Sasyad Bhashya Tasya Mahatmana. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Yes. So now, the talking's over. We've had 10 chapters. Big talk. You're not the body. You've got to do your duty. The laws of karma. Knowledge is necessary. Helps to make you transcendental. I'm the Supreme Lord. I'm expanded into this universe. I'm governing every living entity. I'm governing everything. So Arjuna says, okay, big talk, Krishna. Big talk. Prove it. Of course, he asks in a much nicer way. He's a devotee after all. But this is the point, isn't it? This is the big point, right? So many people, they say, oh, I've been meditating for 5 weeks now, morning and evening, breathing exercises. I've realized I'm God. Okay, show the universal form. Show your universal form. Control time, we always say that, right? Control 1 second on your clock. You say you're God? Oh yeah? I still see you queuing up for the bus. You're God, but you can't even get a bus under control. So, that's what's called illusion, the last snare of Maya, to think, I can't enjoy, so I'll become God. So, yeah, this is talking time is over, showing. Let me see what you got. The Americans say like that. Let me see what you got. You know. Put your money on the line. You know. Big talk. But here, Krishna comes through. And we hear here, right, that just imagine, hundreds and thousands, in the morning we see the sun, and after 5-10 minutes we can't look at it. This is hundreds of thousands of suns would be compared to that effulgence, that Brahman effulgence. So Krishna says, Namam duskritina mudha prapajante naradama. I'm never manifest to the foolish and unsurrendered. To them I'm covered by my yogamaya samavrita. That means the curtain of deluding energy. There is the spiritual creation and there is the material creation. Presently we're in this region of the material. But why can't we see the spiritual world if it's so effulgent? We can see this, it's because of yogamaya samavrita, the curtain of Maya. We don't see that spiritual world. But Krishna is removing that partially for Arjuna so that he can see. Arjuna said, okay, 9th chapter, do you remember, I think number 4, by me in my unmanifested form this whole universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. My super soul is everywhere, controlling karma, controlling consciousness, controlling jnana, controlling everything. Show me that form. So that's like we think, oh, I want to see your wife. There she is in the corner, about 5'6", and that's it. But this is unlimited forms. This is not just a person of this world. Unlimited forms. So, remember we've talked about this, that the material creation is both scientific, that means it works according to logic, argument, chemistry, the laws of physics and so on, but that's resting upon the mystical. So the whole creation is a combination of the mystical, that means beyond, that's metaphysics, beyond logic and argument, time and space. And then it is also, in the material world, we also have the laws of physics, chemistry, laws of man and so on, so many rules and regulations. But everything is resting upon the Supreme Lord. That is the important point. Matak parataram nyanyid kinchid asti dhananda. Everything is resting upon Krishna. And everything is manifest with its potencies according to how Krishna has put those potencies in. He's put that potency into fire. He's put certain potency into water, certain potency into air, into ether, so on and so forth. He's manifested all those potencies into this material energy, and then he has, and this is the way Krishna does things, he has different departments in the material world. Just like in the government we have finance department, home department, defense policy. So the whole creation, yes, they have the Svargaloka, they have Naraka, they have Patala, they have different lokas. What are they? From the top, Satya, Tapa, Jnana, Mahaloka, Svargaloka, where the heavenly thing is. Then there's Bhuloka, the area of disembodied spirits, they have just subtle body. Then there is Bhuloka, Bhumandala, this area earthly. And within the Mandala area there are 7 lower planetary systems. So there are 3, sometimes called 14 worlds, sometimes called 3 worlds. But below Bhumandala is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, and Narak. And also down in a different region there is Pritriloka. So this material creation, it's incredible variety, full of all devas and demigods, and it's all been, and there's different potencies in the different planets and the different stars, and all those potencies have been bestowed by Krishna. Krishna is maintaining it. And this is all resting upon him as Supersoul. Matak parataram nanyad kintidasti dhanana. Everything is resting upon. So that's his form. I've entered into this universe. I've empowered demigods. I'm empowered all living entities. I'm giving them the fruit of their karma and their knowledge and their meditation and their desires. I'm regulating all this. Arjuna says, show me that form. That's what the Virat Rupa is. It's how Krishna is entered into everything. So what we'll do is, instead of just reading one sloka, we'll read this whole section up to where Krishna declares, Time I am, destroyer of worlds. And as I read, we can all visualize what Arjuna is seeing. I think, yes. This is Sanjay talking to Dhritarashtra. So this description is Sanjay's description to Dhritarashtra of what Krishna showed Arjuna. So, 30, it starts on 13. 10 to 11. So try and we'll get the whole picture. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was directed with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and all expanding. Right, so that's like the form. And now some more examples. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of that Supreme Person in that universal form. So the spiritual world is self-effulgent. So you might think, how can you see that? Well, you see the self-effulgence of the spiritual world with your spiritual consciousness, not this material body. If now they have these lasers, and if you put it in somebody's eye, they say, oh, stop that. It's bad, right? So this body is limited. So we're a spirit soul, and we're seeing through this limited body. Right. Next one, 13. At that time Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord unlimited expansions of the universe in one place. That's interesting. Although divided into many, many thousands. So he saw all the form, unlimited expansions, Krishna's form within the heart of all living entity, guiding the devatas, present yogyas within the heart. We're 13. Situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. So that is Achincha Beda Bed. Krishna is one and different. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances with folded hands, began to pray to the Lord. So this is Aishwarya. Awe and reverence, he sees so he feels very small and humble. That is Aishwarya. Krishna is unlimited power. And I'm a big Kshatriya. No. Right. He's Arjuna, the great battler, but still in front of the universal form. And he's my charioteer. He's my charioteer, but he's sitting on the chariot. So anyway, Arjuna is really so we can get a little glimpse. Right? He began to pray, Aishwarya. Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body, in his form. So he's seeing inside Krishna all demigods and various other living entities, right? So everyone is part of Krishna. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents, Vasuki. Yes, I told you those 14 worlds. You can do research. You can read Bhagavatam, but you can also look up on the internet. What is a Rakshasa? What is a Yaksha? What is a Kinnara? What is this? There are many. What is a Preta? I studied long time, a Preta. It's a kind of ghost. And it's always hungry. It's in a ghostly form, a Preta, but it has a very small throat. It can't get any food down its throat. It's a Preta. So anyway, that's one of the forms, but you can look them all up, find out. I was thinking that it might be a good idea for a book, because we know from the Vedas there are 8,400,000 categories of life, and 400,000 human type form, humanoid type form. So it would be an interesting book if you took all the Vedic evidence and you gave all the different types of life forms and their basic consciousness. It might be very interesting. But you'd have to research from all over. Right. Yes, so if hundreds of thousands of, that's today's. Now, 14. Astonished, right. Arjuna said, I see assembled in you all demigods and devatas. I see Lord Brahma and I see Lord Shiva. O Lord of the universe, O universal form. I see in your in your body. It's interesting. In your body, saying it. So he's seeing the universal form, which you could say is one form, but he's seeing in the form many, many different things. That's interesting. I see in your body many, many arms, belly, mouth, eyes, expanded everywhere, without limit. I see you in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. So it's unlimited form. So he's seeing a form which is generally understood to be limited, but he's also seeing it in a unlimited way. So this is what I'm saying at the beginning. Physics and chemistry, so many atoms make one molecule of this and so on. But Krishna is seeing, Arjuna here is seeing the cosmic or the mystical form. He's seeing the form that is beyond chemistry and physics and levers and Panch Kilo and so on. He's seeing into the where time and logic and space are beyond our material conditioning. So I see many, many mouths without limit. You are the supreme primal objective. Primal means first. Objective means something which is attainable. You are the ultimate resting place of this universe. Yes, Ashraya. Everything rests upon Krishna. Everything exists, its existence, its consciousness, its qualities, they're all resting upon Krishna. You are inexhaustible, right? Now that's also amazing, isn't it? Because we, at the end of the day we think, oh, I'm going to crash out. But Krishna is inexhaustible. He never becomes tired. Now that's amazing, isn't it? Can you imagine? These are all descriptions of Krishna. You are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. So now Arjuna is saying, yeah, I see who you are. You are without origin, middle or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms. The sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your radiance. So he's getting the full vision. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and the space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. So we gave 14 there. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings crying, all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. Now it's very interesting, they're crying all peace. But at the same time it's a very powerful. So yes, if somebody's very powerful, you want him to be peaceful. Right? So that's an interesting point. And are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. So all the demigods are doing their upasana. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadyas, Vishvasdevas, the two Vasvi, the Maruts, the forefathers, Gandharvas, Yakshas, the Asuras and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. So it would seem that those devatas are also getting vision at this time, because it is saying they are beholding you in wonder. So this form may have been manifest to the devatas also, and the asuras and so on. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form. Yes. So all the planetary systems, the devatas, they're seeing the universal form, not just Arjuna. with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. As they are disturbed, so am I. Yeah, so everyone's a bit shaken up, and they're saying, peace, peace, please. Oh, great, powerful one, remain peaceful. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. So you're getting fear, because of the power. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. O Lord of Lords, refuge of the worlds, be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with the allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and your chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouth. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all persons from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me, who are you? I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know all about you, and for I do not know what your mission is. That's very interesting, huh? Because every man has a mission, every person has a mission. So this is an interesting question, isn't it? You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you. I do not know what is your mission. So your mission is that what you're trying to achieve. So what are you trying to achieve? So then the answer comes, famous answer. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Sri Bhagavan Avacha, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So that's who I am. I'm time. I am the time factor, and I destroy everything, destroyer of the worlds. And I am here to do more destruction, all this battle. So, yes. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's 5 subjects. The Acharyas have explained there's 5 subjects. Ishvara, who is the Supreme Controller? What is the soul? Number 2. Number 3, what is the material energy? And then 4, Kala, what is time? Because time is subtle, it's not a thing we can see, but we know time exists. We have to comply with time. Time is progressing. So Krishna is the time factor, which is something for contemplation. Krishna is that which pushes us along through time. Krishna is everything, but generally we don't think of the time factor, the need to do something, achieve something, finish our mission. But that is pushing me, that is Krishna. It's very interesting. Kalosmi aham. And karma is the number 5. So of those 5, Ishvara, Jiva, material nature, time, and karma. Karma is non-eternal. The other 4, they exist spiritually, eternally. Karma is not, because now according to my karma I have this body, but in the future I won't have this body. Time is changing. So material things, they are born and then they disappear. They're born, and Krishna says not to speak of just the body, but the worlds, right? Destroyer of worlds, Krishna. So there was the Roman Empire. There was the Mughal Empire in India, right? There was the Greeks. They had a big thing going. Alexander the Great. The Egyptians were big at one time, right? Look what they built, those pyramids. Nobody knows what's going on, practically speaking. There was the British Empire, right? Now the Americans trying to be big. So everyone is trying to create a world, but they're all destroyed. There's the Roman Empire gone, Chinese Empire gone, Mughal Empire gone. Even there was the Mahabharata time, right? The time of Arjuna. But Krishna says, I'm coming here, I'm going to kill all these soldiers. You're getting too big. Now you're looking at the world nowadays, there's so much fighting here and there. And what does Krishna do in these wars? He kills off the soldiers. So everything is going according to karma. Karma is coming and going. We're performing activities, getting the result. And we're all in the grasp of time. We're being all devoured. This body. We shave it and brush the teeth every morning and think, but one day it's going. You see, everything is temporary. So this is important to remember, because by understanding that this world is temporary, this body is temporary, that karma is temporary, then we should go to the spiritual, eternal plane. Because Ishvara, yes, eternal. Jiva, eternal. So, but the problem is we're entangled in Prakriti, in the material energy. So how do we get out? We read Bhagavatam Gita and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because Krishna means Krish, he who attracts to the spiritual platform, and Na means, this is one of the interpretations of his name, Na means not the material. So he takes you from the material, negates that, to the spiritual plane. That's the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna. So that's what we want to do. We're trying to go from the non-eternal, Prakriti, under time, laws, we're trying to go to the spiritual platform. That's what Lord Chaitanya was. So all Yuga avatars, they come with that. That's what Arjuna is being told by Krishna. Don't go to this material analysis, Arjuna. Come to the spiritual platform. And you might think, Krishna is going to kill all those millions of soldiers. Well, even if there is no Kurukshetra, they're all going to die anyway, right? It doesn't matter how good looking you are, how good a cook your wife is, you're still going to die. Right? There's nothing against it. Even if you don't die in Kurukshetra, you're going to die anyway. You might lie in your bed and die there. You might die in your sleep. I wonder what happens to those people. They wake up in a big bed somewhere. Anyway, the thing is, everything is temporary. So if we can make that penny drop, then friends and enemies and it goes away, because this material world becomes not so important because it's temporary. Just like if you sit on the bus going to Mathura, you meet somebody, hello, but it's temporary. It's all temporary in this material world. So when we realize, then when that penny drops, then we might take our chanting seriously, right? We might take, oh, I'm not going to eat any bhoga. I'm just going to eat prasadam. I'm going to study Bhagavatam every day because I'm dedicated to the spiritual, because I know the material is temporary, right? So that penny has to drop. Do they say that in Hindi? In English, they say the penny dropped. It means you got the idea. You see, the penny hasn't dropped with Dhritarashtra. It hasn't dropped. He thinks, I'll get my son to be the king, Duryodhana. He hasn't realized it's all matter. You see, he still thinks it's important. I want my son to be the king. But the devotee, especially Lord Chaitanya, oh, this is temporary. So what should we be? We should be a sadhu. Trinadapi sanichena. We should be tolerant and humble, kind, forgiving and everything. We should be sadhu. Good behavior. Give respect. And then we should go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any question at this point?
You said our body is limitless.
Is what?
Our body is limited.
Limited.
Yeah, our body is
Yeah, limited.
limited in this material world. So, can we serve unlimited Krishna? Can we serve unlimited to Krishna?
You mean, yeah, this is what we discussed a little last week. Yes, we are limited. This body is limited. So the question is, can we serve the unlimited Lord? Yes, by His grace. Right? And generally we do that through the devotees of the Lord. By realizing that everyone is a devotee, Krishna is in everyone's heart, we respect everyone. So yes, Krishna is unlimited, but still, he says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakti prayashati tadaham bhakti apritam asnami. So whatever you do, whatever you offer, you give away, if you give some flowers or fruits to me, I will accept it. I'll accept your service. Because he is unlimited. So he's unlimited in accepting your service. You understand? He's unlimited, we're limited, but he's not limited by our limited nature. But, a different subject, but related, I've said a few times before, one time I was reading Vedanta Sutra. Baladev Vidyabhushan, you know, the Govinda Bhasya, his commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So there's 4 sections in the Vedanta Sutra. Number 4 is Muksha Kanda. It means what is the condition of being liberated, being in the spiritual world. What is it like? Muksha, 4 khandas. First khanda is sambandha. What is the relationship between the spiritual and material energies? Second one is abhideya, how to perform upasana, worship. Number 5 is what is the goal of our worship. And 4 is moksha khanda, what it's like to be liberated. So in there, in one purport, I always remember, Baladev Vidyabhushan, he explains something very interesting. He says on this question, he says, when the soul is liberated in the spiritual world, then he becomes empowered to relate to Krishna man to man, face to face. Do you understand? He's practically talking and discussing with Krishna on an equivalent level. And that is because he becomes completely empowered. And we see a glimpse of that power with Srila Prabhupada. All that translation and 100 books and lectures and advice and letters and planning, he manifested a little touch of that power. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, his austerity. We see in Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wrote all these incredible books, Jaiva Dharma, Shiksha. And then Veda Vyas, he wrote the whole Vedas, he just wrote it all out, spoke it to Ganesh. So you see that the power, so Krishna, he empowers the individual soul to be practically equivalent to him in the spiritual world. But then Baladeva explains that one power he doesn't give to the spirit soul, the individual soul, and that is he doesn't give the complete creative potency. This material and spiritual world and the Brahman and this is all created by Krishna. He's unlimited Shakti. But that power is not in the individual soul when he's in the spiritual world. Because he might start creating a different design of universe and so on and so on. There's just one supreme creator and we live within that. But within that we are practically, when we're liberated, at the same level as Krishna. And therefore the cowherd boys, they wrestle with Krishna. The elder gopis, gopas, they chastise Krishna, so on and so forth. The Astasakis are cutting jokes on Krishna. They're interacting with Krishna not as the Supreme Lord, but just as the local hero. So that is in the state of perfection, Siddhim, but we can still serve Krishna in this situation. And we should always think that service doesn't just mean running around like in a restaurant serving prasad. Serving means just by remembering Krishna in a devotional way, just by chanting Shravanam, by kirtan, doing kirtan in a devotional way, meditating, doing some service, offering a flower of root. You understand? Just remembering Krishna is service. That is considered. Smaranam is, if you sit down, you're in the bus station, you have to go to Delhi or something, so you can meditate on the form of Krishna. You're doing service. But the main thing is, in service, anukulyena krishnanu, anukulyena. It's done in a favorable mood, affectionate mood, bhajatam pritipurvi. That's the essence of bhakti. I offer an apple to Krishna, but I do it with devotion. Right? Krishna says that, yeah. You can offer me flower or fruit with devotion. You see, that is the thing. And that's what attracts Krishna. Yes, Marini.
So I was thinking about Sanjay, because Sanjay also got this vision, no? So it means that Sanjay is in the same level of Arjuna? Arjuna got this spiritual vision?
Sanjay is the disciple of Veda Vyas. Veda Vyas is Shakti Vaishnavadam. He's empowered by Krishna. He's a spirit soul like us. Shakti Avais means, Shakti means energy, Avais, dressed. It means he's dressed in a particular energy. And the energy that he's dressed in is to compile the Vedas in a methodical way. So Veda Vyas is a top level incarnation, Shaktavesh. So, just like I said, the material energy, it's got a scientific aspect and it's got a mystical aspect. So, the great avatars and the great incarnations, they have these mystical powers. You understand? They're residents of the spiritual world. Like I said, they're practically equivalent to Krishna. So Sanjay can see the battlefield, and he's describing it to Dhritarashtra. But he's actually saying, you could say, yes, he's on the same level as Arjuna. But also, if you remember when we read all the verses, the many devatas were also seeing, many different living entities throughout the universe. They were seeing all this. So Sanjay could see. But Dhritarashtra, he was still on the bodily platform, you see. He was still, I want my son to be king. And so, if you're going to see the spirit, or you have to get the blessings of, right? What is that? Namam duskriti namudha prapadya. Those that are rascals and envious and don't surrender to me, I'm covered by Yoga Maya. Because that's what they want. They want to be the big man in the material world. You understand? Many people are like that, right? I want to be important. I want to be the number one. I want to write a great book, and everyone will read it instead of the Vedas. You know, Ravana actually wrote a commentary on the Vedas. Did you know that? I heard. I haven't read it, but...
Because Dhritarashtra, so he listened the description, no? But he cannot get that level, no?
Yeah,
Even if he is listening,
yeah.
he is very important part of Krishna. But
Yeah, I was just listening to a lecture today, actually, because I put them on the background on the veranda. And Prabhu was saying that Dhritarashtra, he knew that Krishna was the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says in this lecture that Dhritarashtra knew that Krishna is Bhagavan. At least he had some conception, he is. But still, because of bodily, this is interesting, because of bodily attachment, he wanted his sons to be there. So that's very interesting to contemplate. He knows Krishna is Supreme Lord. He's there with Sanjay. Sanjay has got mystical power to see the battle. You know, he's such a great devotee of Veda Vyas. But still he's got his plan. It's a bit like Hiranyakashipu, right? He wanted to kill Vishnu. I want to get rid of Vishnu. I want to be the number one. So even though you can see how Matsarya, even though they know their Matsarya counteracts their knowledge. You could put it that way, right? They know it's Krishna is Supreme Lord, but because of envy or material desire, that knowledge goes to one side, right?
Yes.
Krishna's God, but still I'm going to make my son king. So it's interesting. So it's like what we talked last week. Free will is so important, isn't it? Free will. We have to just like, yeah, okay, Krishna, I'm not God. okay, Yudhisthira, let him be king. Oh, and that actually happens in the Mahabharata, right? At one point, a few days into the battle, Duryodhana, he thinks, why all this fighting? Let's just finish it. I don't want to have all this killing on my conscience. So he goes to sleep, and then in the dream, in the afternoon, the Rakshasas come to him in a dream and said, you can't stop fighting now. You are our man on the battlefield. We have a plan to take over Earth, Bhumandala, for Kali Yuga. You can't just give up and become, oh, I'm peaceful now. No, you've got to continue the fight. So Dhritarashtra woke up and continued the battle. So, it's very interesting. He had one idea, but then the Rakshasas. So it's very interesting. We're surrounded. Like I say, Bhumandala, we have the earth, then there's Bhuloka, these subtle beings, and then there's the heavenly beings, and then there's Suras and so on. So how can you keep the bad influence away? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Duryodhana should have woke up after this afternoon nap and said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. But if he'd done that, we wouldn't have the Bhagavad Gita, maybe. So, it's interesting. So everything is... But the important point is my choice. So even if I know Krishna's God, I still don't like Yudhisthira. So... Sometimes the people destroy themselves, don't they? You know that? Like a drug addict. He knows this drug, this heroin is bad for me, but he can't stop. So the material world is like that. That's why we have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, and keep all those subtle influences away. Okay, thank you all very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita.